Chipotle's culture and mission have long differentiated it as a place to eat. With restaurants competing fiercely for employees in the wake of the pandemic, companies are going to have to show that they are great places to work as well.
It's not just about that person coming back to work in the restaurant. They're going to come back, but they're not going to come back and work the way they did before.
I think that the companies that win are those that are investing in their employees, their teams, that are developing a strong culture that people want to be a part of.
The real win on a micro level is if restaurants can figure out how to make that employee work better and more efficiently, but in a way that makes them more satisfied.
At this new location just outside Chicago, Jack Hartung told me what it will take to build a workforce to meet Chipotle's goals.
You've got to start with attractive wages, but then you've got to go way beyond that. You've got to offer developmental opportunities, promotional opportunities. We have 100,000 employees, and as we grow from 3,000 restaurants to 7,000 restaurants, we're going to need 200 or 250,000 employees. So our future depends on hiring great crew today that will be great managers in the future.
Double the locations, double the staff. And along with investing in people, Chipotle plans to invest in technology to support them.
There is so much still that can be done with artificial intelligence, robotics. When you think about our system, there are a lot of processes that, frankly, people don't love doing. Cutting and coring avocados in the restaurant, not a fun job, very repetitive. I think there's a way where we could use robotics to help us do that. And then as you think about artificial intelligence, we could be better at figuring out how many avocados do we have to cut and core today so that we never run out of guacamole throughout the day.
As digital orders have surged, Chipotle has adapted its processes. The most dramatic change has been the addition of a second make line.
This is very familiar to customers, our front line, and this is what, for the first, call it 18 years at Chipotle, this was you come into Chipotle along the line, you interact with the crew, and you customize your meal. We've got this separate make line, and it's digitized, and so the orders come in, and they're really kind of staged so that if you say at noon, I want to come in at 1 o'clock, we hold that order, and we will send it to the crew like maybe 10 to 1,
right.
So it's ready right when you pull up your car.
How do you manage these kind of two different staffing needs, right?
Yes.
And making sure you have the right amount of people
yes.
at the right time.
We spend a lot of time projecting sales. A lot of it is, it's part art, part science. We're trying to bring more science and more AI into it. Because if you get the right sales projection, then you know exactly what your staffing needs to be. So if you get the sales right, you can get the entire restaurant staffed perfectly. With just a couple people, our average restaurant now does about over $1 million per restaurant in digital sales.
Data science meets culinary art in Chipotle's commitment to menu innovation. By releasing several new items each year, management hopes to boost same-store sales. It seems to be working, but it's more complicated than it looks.
The most important thing is to make sure that the economics work, meaning when you bring something new, does it bring in additional customers? Does it bring existing customers more often? There's always going to be trade-off from one menu item to another, and there could be economic either advantages or disadvantages. So we just want to understand that when a customer comes in, if they're trading from a high-margin item to a low-margin item, that's going to be a loser for us.
And any new offering must meet Chipotle's rigorous sourcing standards.
It will take us a year and a half from the time that we are experimenting in the test kitchen to we'll put it into a few restaurants to see how does it work operationally and do customers like it. But it'll take us a year and a half because we've then got to build up the supply chain. It's a challenge, but we take our time and we're not going to roll it out before it's ready.